Hi everyone, welcome back to Sew with Adeshola. In today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to cut and sew this beautiful bustier gown with an exaggerated sleeve and exaggerated skirt. This is my own recreation, and if this interests you, do well to watch until the end and do not skip any part. So for this tutorial, I'll be making use of 2 yards of this Ankara fabric. You can decide to use any other fabric of your choice, be it a mikado, a brocade, or any other one. So I have gone ahead to rule out my starting line, and from that starting line, I took my bust measurement, which is at 10 inches, my under bust, which is at 13, and my waistline, which is 16.5. And I'm also going to take that same measurement on other part of the pattern paper so that I can have a straight line. Okay, then I'll go ahead and connect the dots together just like this. So you also go ahead and do the same thing. And after that, go ahead and label your line so that you do not make a mistake. Okay, now after you're done with that, you want to come to your shoulder line and mark your shoulder to shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 7.5 for me. And then from that point, I came down by 1 inch for my shoulder slope. Then I also went ahead to take my neck width, which is 3 inches, and connect it to the shoulder slope just like that. Then I went ahead to take my chest line, which is at 7.5 inches. To know your chest line, divide your round bust measurement by 6, and whatever you get, add 1.5 inches to it. Okay, that's going to definitely give you your chest line. So after I was done with that, I went ahead to label it the chest line. So now the next thing we're going to do is to take the neck depth of this our bustier gown. For this, I'll be making use of 7 inches. That's how deep I want it to be. So I'm just going to rule out a line just like that and name it the upper bust. Okay, that's going to serve as the upper bust for our bustier gown. Now the next thing we're going to do is to take our bustier, and for this I'll be making use of my nipple to nipple measurement, which is at 3.5 inches, just like that, and I'll connect the dots together from the bust point to the waistline. And on the part going towards the center, I'm going to take 0.5 inch right there, and to the part going towards the side, I will take 1.5 inch on both the waistline, the under bust as well. So just go ahead and also do this. Take those measurements and connect the lines together just like this. Okay, and after I was done with that, I came down by 1 inch from my bust point. You can decide to come down by 0.5 inch, and then you want to connect it using your French cuff just like this. From the under bust to that 1 inch we came down by, just look at the way I am placing my French cuff. Go ahead and also do the same thing. And after which we are done with this, the next thing we are going to do is to come to our shoulder line, just that slope right there. Divide what you have on your slope into 2 and mark a point. Then you want to connect it to that bust point just like that. Okay, now that we are done with that, the next thing is for us to take our inverted neckline. So for this, I will be going up by 2.5 inch from my upper bust. Okay, I'm going to go up by 2.5 inch. You can decide to use 3 inches, and then you connect it to that line just like that. That's going to give us that inverted neckline. And after which we are going to take our contour. We are going to contour the neckline right there because we don't want to have any gaping at that point. So I came in by 0.75 on each side just like that, and then I connected it to my bust point right there. So go ahead and also do the same thing. And after we are done with that, I went ahead to measure the that legs just like that. I have 5 inch on that part and I have 4.5 inch on that side. So I have to make the two equal. So I went ahead and added 0.5 inch to it, which makes it 5 inches. Just like that. So we have equal parts right there. Look at me just measuring it out. I have 5 inch right there, and while I measure the other side as well, I have 5 inch. So there is not going to be one shorter than the other. Okay, one is not going to be shorter than the other. Now you want to connect the new line to the under bust, to the upper bust rather. Okay, so we have equal measurement right there. Now the next thing is for us to take our body measurement, and to do this I'm imputing my round bust measurement on the chest line, which is 8.5, and then I measured my that right there and impute it back. So I also did the same thing on my under busts. I measured my round under bust divided by 4, impute the measurement, and added the that back. Okay, you also want to do the same thing on your chest line, on the under bust, and also the waistline. Then you want to connect together just like this. Okay, now the next thing I am going to do is to mark out my armhole curve, and to do this I divided my line into 2 and went in by 0.5 each on that side. Then you want to connect it using your French curve just like this. Just look at the way I am placing my French curve and also do the same thing. Okay, and after we are done with that, the next thing we are going to do is to take our side dart, which is the difference between our front bodies and our back bodies. For me it is 1 inch, so you want to come down by that measurement from your bust point and connect it into that part. So now you know our bustier has a kind of opening at the neckline. You can decide to use 0.5 or even 1 inch. So I'm using 0.5 at that part, and I'll be connecting it into my chest line. So I had to extend my chest line right there. So I just went ahead to connect from that 0.5 inch right into my chest line like that. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is to cut out the excess part that we do not need. That is me just adding sewing allowance, which is 1.5 inches to the side right there. Go ahead and also do the same thing. Okay, then the next thing we're going to do is to cut it out. So if you have watched with and stayed with us up until this moment, thank you for watching. Do well to like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe, and also comment. Thank you as you do so. Now the next thing is to draft out the back pattern, and I've gone ahead to label my lines: the start line, the bust point, under bust, and the waistline. Okay, and on that start line, which is also the shoulder line, I'll be imputing my shoulder to shoulder measurement divided by 2, which is 7.5, just like we did for the front. Go ahead and also do the same thing. Mark your shoulder slope and connect it to your neck width, which is 3 inches. And from that point, I'm going to still come down by 7.5, which is my chest line. Okay, then you also want to connect it to your shoulder line just like this. Okay, and now that we are done with that, I'm going to label it the chest line. And then the next thing we're going to do is to take our dart, and for that I'll be making use of 4 inches for the dart right there. So I'm just marking out 4 inches on the bust point and also the waistline, and on that part I'm going to go in by 0.5 inch on each side. Okay, which is going to give us 1 inch for the dart leg. Okay, 0.5 inch on each side, and it's going to give us 1 inch just like that. Then I'm going to come down by 7 inches, just the way we did for the front piece for our neck depth. Okay, if you don't want yours to be as deep as that, you can just use 6 inches, because we are still going to have the inverted neckline at the front. Okay, now from that point I'm just going to take my armhole line just like that, divide it into 2, and then I'm going to impute my round bust measurement by on that chest line and then connect it right there. Now if you look at this back piece, I didn't mark out my zipper allowance, but I'm going to do that on my fabric. So that's just me imputing my round waist measurement on the waistline, adding my 1 inch dart leg back just like that. Now on that point, I don't want it to just be a straight back, so I came down by 0.5 inch, and then I'm just going to connect it into the chest line just like that. Okay, then I'll go ahead and add 1.5 each, just like we did for the front. I'm going to add it back to the back as well to give us the sewing allowance. Okay, just go ahead and also do the same thing. And after I was done with this, I went ahead to cut it out. So for the down part, I'd gone ahead to fold my fabric. To know the width of the fabric you want to fold, divide your round hip measurement into 4 and add about 5 inches to it. Okay, so I have my front and back piece right there, and I have also added my zipper allowance to the back, and from that start line I came down by 8.5 inch for my hip line, and from there I went ahead to also mark the length of my gown. To know the length of your gown, of the down part of your gown, I mean the skirt, remove the upper part, the upper bodice from the total length of your gown. Okay, that's going to give you the measurement for the skirt. So I went ahead to rule out my hip line just like that, and right there I have just half inch left from my total length, so which I'm going to use for my joining allowance, my hemming allowance rather. So on the waistline, I'm going to impute my round waist measurement, which is 7 inches right there. Add my 1 inch for that to it, and then I'm going to add 1.5 inch for sewing, just like we did for the upper bodice. And this measurement, I am taking it from the front piece. Take note, I am taking it from the front piece. And on the hip line, I am imputing my round hip measurement divided by 4. Add 1.5 inch to it for sewing allowance, and then I'm going to add 2.5 inch to it for the exaggeration. Okay, that's going to give us for the exaggeration. And whatever you have right there, come to the hem of your skirt and also impute the same measurement right there. Okay, so I'm just going to connect it together from the waistline to the hip line, and from the hip line to the hem of our skirts. So just go ahead and also do the same thing. And on my zipper allowance part, I went in by 0.5 inch to remove zipper bulge. Okay, I'd gone ahead to also to actually do this before now, but I didn't know my camera was not capturing it, so I had to do it over again. And then you want to connect it to your hip line in a slanted manner, just like that. Now the next thing is for us to just cut it out. So I'm just taking that part out, and look at it, I left half of an inch for sewing allowance. Then I went ahead to take my dart, and this is for the upper part. I'd gone ahead to add half inch sewing allowance to it, and also I ironed an interface to both the lining and the fabric. Okay, I added half inch all the way around except for the side, which we already added 1.5 inch to it. Now if you look at the back, you see that I added my 1.5 inch for the zipper allowance. So I'm just going to place the skirt part to it so that you can see that it actually aligns. You can see it aligns perfectly well. Now the next thing we are going to do is to start joining the front bodies together. So this is me just opening it up. You can see both the lining and the fabric. Now you want to join the center body, the center front and the side front together. I've gone ahead to notch the under bust part right there for both the side and the center front. Now I'm just going to place it together and start sewing from the waistline. Please make sure you sew from the waistline. Okay, you can also use your pin to hold it together if you find it hard to sew a bustier. Okay, use your pin to hold it together. And I'm also going to do the same thing for my lining. So I went ahead to also notch the under bust for the lining just like this. So go ahead and also do the same thing. I'm going to join that together as well. Okay, and after I am done doing that, I'll bring to us to see what we have. And this is what we have after I was done. You can see how the bust part is looking really nice and pretty. The bustier is looking really nice and pretty right there. Now the next thing is for us to join both the lining and the main fabric together. But before we do that, we need to impute our strap for the sleeve. Okay, we need to fix our strap for the sleeve, and for this I've gone ahead to cut out a piece of two pieces of fabric right there, which is 15 inches long. You know, we used 7 inches for the neck depth, okay, which is for the front and the back, which makes it 14, and I added 1 inch to it, which makes it 15 for joining allowance. Okay, and the width is just 4 inches, so that when we fold it together we can have 2 inches right there. So you want to fold it together on the right side right there and place it at the part going towards the armhole. You want to look at it. Just look at what I am doing right there. You can see that it's very close to the armhole right there. Then you want to pin it down to that part. Okay, just look at it right there. Is very close to the armhole, as you can see. So just go ahead and also do the same thing. Make sure that it is very close to the armhole, because this strap is still going to hold our sleeve, and we don't want our strap to be far away from the armhole right there. Okay, so I'm just going to place the lining on it right there, and then join with 0.5 inch all the way round. Okay, all the way down like that. You want to also go ahead and do the same thing. Okay, make sure you do that, and do not stitch the armhole line. Okay, you don't want to stitch that armhole. Just go to the side and stitch the sides together. Do not stitch the armhole. Stitch the sides right there and take in your strap very well so that you do not stitch on it. And after I was done, this is what I had. You can see how beautiful the bustier part is looking. And also you want to ensure that the open part is at the armhole line. I hope you understand what I am saying. The open part of your strap is facing the armhole line. Now the next thing is for us to join the strap to the back as well. You want to turn your front piece right there so that the inner part is facing you. Then you want to put your strap on the right side of the back, on the right side of the back, and then you want to stitch it together. Okay, and I'm also going to do the same thing for the other side. And after I was done, this is what I had. You can see it's looking really nice and pretty. Now the next thing is for us to join the skirt to it. I would also went ahead to take my dart for the back. Now I'm just going to bring the back the skirt pieces, and then we are going to join both the lining and the main fabric together. Place your lining on the right side of your fabric and join on the sides, the hem line and the other side. Do not join the waistline. And I'm also going to do the same thing for the front piece. That's for the back and this is for the front. So you want to open it up and join it on both on the sides. Do not join on the at the waistline. Then you want to take in your dart after you have turned it. Okay, and after I was done, this is what I had. This is the front piece. I went ahead to take my dart, and also this is the back piece. Now the next thing is for us to join this to our upper bodice. Okay, so I'm just going to take the upper bodice and place it right side facing each other. I just want to place it. I'll just go ahead and place it on each other, right side facing each other, and stitch with 1/2 inch. Okay, I'm just going to use my pin to hold it in place right there, because we are still going to do the same thing for the back as well. Okay, you also want to take the back pieces and stitch them together using 1/2 inch. And after I was done, this is what I had. You can see I had also gone ahead to join my back pieces together from the hip line all the way down. There is no need for us to leave any allowance at the down part because this is free enough for us to move. Now the next thing we want to do is to join it together with 1.5 inches we left for the sewing allowance. Then I'll go ahead and fix my zipper as well. Okay, and after I am done, I'll bring the result to us to see what we have. And this is what I had after I was done. You can see I'd fixed my zipper, and this is what the exaggerated skirt is looking like. That's what the hips is looking like. You can see normally my hips is not even as wide as this. Now the next thing we are going to do is to fix our sleeve. Okay, now to do this I am going to measure what I have around that part on the sleeve right there, and I think I have about 18 inches right there. So I'm just going to get pieces of fabric, and this piece of fabric is about 12 inches long, and also you can say I have about 14 inches right there for the width, but I'm going to be using 12 inch. Okay, for the width as well. I have 4 pieces right there, which is for the front and the back right there. So I'm just going to mark 12 inches. Okay, I'm going to have mark 12 inches for the width of the sleeve, and I came down by 4 inches for my sleeve cap. Okay, and then I'm just going to use my free hand to just connect it together, just like that, to give me the sleeve shape. Okay, because we are still going to pleat this to the sleeve, we are going to pleat it to the sleeve area. Now I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out. And once we are done cutting it out, the next thing we are going to do is to iron an interface to it to give it some structure. And after I was done, this is what I have, you can see. So right there, I'm just going to make a notch at the middle right there. Now the next thing we are going to do is to join the main fabric and the lining together, okay, so that we can use that to cover up the inside of our sleeve. So you just want to join it with 0.5 inch, and after I was done, this is what I had. You can see I just went ahead to top stitch on it all the way around at that end, okay, so that it can hold the lining in place. Then I will go ahead and join it together using 1 inch at that part, and after I was done, this is what I have. You can see I've gone ahead to join it together. Now the next thing we are going to do is to measure it out. Rather, you know, we have 18 inches on my sleeve, so I'm going to divide that into 2, which is 9 inches. Okay, at that 9-inch point, I am going to make a notch right there. I'm just going to make a notch right there. Then I am going to pleat right there from the center. Okay, I'm just going to pleat it right there. So we are going to pleat it, and I'm going to stitch on it to hold it in place, but I'm using my pin right here. So I'll take it to my sewing machine and stitch on it, and after doing that, I'll go ahead to also join it to the armhole of my gown. Okay, you want to place it right side facing each other right there, just like that, and stitch it all the way round the armhole line, just like that. You can see the strap is holding our sleeve right there, so you want to go ahead and stitch it. And that brings us to the end of this tutorial, and I'm going to do the same thing for the other side as well. And after I was done, this is what I had. You can see how beautiful it is looking. It's looking so nice and beautiful. So if you have watched until this end and you are here to give this video a thumbs up, make sure you do like it, comment and share, and I will see you in my next tutorial. Bye.